Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today with us we have Fedora 43. This is the beta version. It's going to be announced I think on Tuesday, but this is the release candidate 1.3 for the beta, so it's actually nearly identical as far as this video is concerned at least. So without wasting further time, let's just dive right in. Alright, so welcome to Fedora Linux. Now I hear that there is a new installer this time around, so we're going to check it out. By the way, the new wallpaper looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, I think this is my favorite wallpaper out of all the Fedora wallpapers that I have ever seen from the beginning of my YouTube channel. Okay, so welcome. Let's install Fedora now. So this is the Fedora Linux 43 Workstation Edition pre-release installation, and it does mention that this is a pre-release software. Do not use this for any critical work or for production environments. Very nice. Three dots over here, you can see the about section. So this is Anaconda 43.37, and then you can also report an issue. So we're going to select English United States, and we're going to click on next, and we're going to use the entire disk. We're not going to change our disks. And by the way, you can rescan your devices. You can select this, so this disk is already selected, and you use the entire disk, so we can go ahead and click next. Then you have storage configuration, so you can encrypt your disk. This only applies to new partitions, by the way. We're not going to go ahead with it, but if you were to do this, you would have selected your language, you would have entered a passphrase, and you would have also confirmed your passphrase, and that would have been it. So we're not going to go ahead with encryption right now. We're going to click on next. And so it's going to show you, so we have the operating system, the language, and the entire disk is to be used. So for example, you have VDA1 formatted as BIOS boot, a 1 GB of ext4 to be used as boot, and then your root partition, and then your home partition, which is the exact same because home partition by default is inside of root. So we're going to go ahead and erase data and install, but we're not actually going to do this because I mean it's going to take time. So this is the new installer. That's just what I wanted to show it to you. So we're going to quit, and welcome to Fedora. Okay. So before diving into what's new, this is Fedora. It's beautiful, and I'm on a virtual machine, by the way, total disclosure. This is the dock at the bottom. We do get these pill shapes to indicate which workspaces you're on, and then you do have the notifications and calendar over here. You can add world clock, select the weather location, and towards the right you have your control panel, I guess. System settings center, whatever you want to call it. I use different operating systems. It's called differently in different operating systems. So you can take a screenshot, you can go to settings, you can lock your computer, you can turn it off, and then you have your volume connections, your volume settings, and then this is the wired network connection, or if you had wireless, you could have also opted for that. And now the power mode is balanced by default, and it has performance, balanced, and power saver. We're going to go with performance because who doesn't like performance? And you can also enable dark style or go with do not disturb. Let's just go ahead and enable dark style. And the subtle changes in the wallpaper, man, I really love this. But I think I like this wallpaper better because of the yellow during the rocket launch. So I'm gonna stick with this for now. Okay, so this is the dock at the bottom. A little too big for my liking, but I don't care. It looks beautiful. We have pinned apps, Firefox, calendar, files, installed to hard drive because this isn't actually installed. This is a live boot, and we do get a few apps. So we have calculator, context, weather, clock, maps. Not too much, but enough to get you started. It does have LibreOffice suite. So you have your calculator, writer, Impress. You do get camera, a software center, terminal, video editor, text editor. And so if you were to go ahead with the tour, I guess you guys have already seen this like 1,000 times, but then again, let's check if there is something different. So let's begin. Again, get an overview, press the super key to get an overview, which would be this. And then powerful search. Again, you can type anything you want to. For example, you can type, it's very functional. As you can see, if I say time, it's not only going to give me clocks, it's going to give me parental controls because that has to do with time as well. And then video ed player for some reason. And then date and time, system, well-being. A lot of things are going to come your way, and you can pick and choose what you want. Okay. And then you do get the organizing with workspaces, which we already saw, and then swipe up swipe left and right, and yeah, that's it. Basically, that was a very, very small and quick tour of Fedora 43. So now we're going to talk about what's new this time around as part of the UI. This is running GNOME 49, so we're going to talk about that. So let's just dive right in. And before that, let's just check the kernel number. So we are using a terminal app. This is right. Okay, so these are the tabs. So you can open new tabs. Let's check what we are using. So we are on the terminal, and this is, as you can see, 49.rc. This is the release candidate that we are on right now. And I love these preferences, keyboard shortcuts. I love the way that this looks. You can turn it white. I don't think many people would want to do that, but the reason for opening terminal was to check the kernel version. So we are getting the 6.17 kernel version. As you can see, this is the third release candidate for the beta. So yeah, that's also indicated in the kernel name. That's pretty good. Now let's talk about what's new with GNOME 49. So let's take a look at some of the new features and highlights in GNOME 49, also known as Brescia, I guess. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. So you do get all the accessibility options in your login screen, high contrast and zoom, large text, all your standard stuff. Now this is for Ubuntu, by the way, but again, this is GNOME. It's going to be shared between Ubuntu and Fedora, so this is going to be very consistent. Now, they also added a media controller widget on the lock screen. So this is the media controller widget, and I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. It's functional, and you do get new style of indicators. So for example, if I do this, as you can see, these are new this time around. I mean, at least in terms of looks, and that looks good. I'm not complaining. The quick settings menu gains some new options like we saw, and then you do get brightness, and then this is for all the different multiple monitors that you might have attached. I don't have brightness because this is running inside of a virtual machine, so you don't get the brightness settings, but this is what it would have been if I had it installed or if I had it running on my bare metal. There are other improvements as well. So grouped screenshot and screencast notifications, brightness adjustments now change in 5% steps, so that's good. Animated ellipse shown for searching in the overview, and clearer indication when battery limits, charging limits are active, and also an improved icon for active Wi-Fi sans the access points. And of course, the usual bug fixes and all that good stuff, okay? Now, it does gain a new shortcuts dialog widget. It replaces the old shortcuts window, and many apps in GNOME 49 that now use it. The new dialog is adaptive and includes an integrated search field. Now, you do get new default apps. So for example, one is the video player. So let's just open that. So this is the new video player for GNOME. I don't have videos over here, unfortunately, but if you had, you could play them over here. Let's just go to About Video Player, and as you can see, 49RC, you can go to their website, report an issue, and all that good stuff. Okay, so this is cool. So GNOME makes changes to its set of core apps, which are developed as part of GNOME using the relevant desktop technologies and design guidelines, okay? Linux distros that ship the GNOME desktop do not have to include these core apps. You could learn a thing or two, Microsoft. Credits roll on Totem as GNOME 49 replaces the venerable open source video player with Showtime, a slicker and more modern video player built using GTK4 or libadwaita. Totem uses GTK3 and making use of newer underlying media tech. Now, Showtime had been around for quite a while. It plays videos in a frameless window with overlay controls that fade out of view during playback. It also supports chapters, subtitles, and audio tracks, adjustable playback speed, and much more. And now you do get another new app. So this is the Papers app. It replaces Evans, and as you can see, this is pretty good. If I type Papers, I will open the document viewer. Again, I don't have any documents, I'm sorry about that. And you can see the document viewer. And now one of the things that GNOME does is it doesn't actually use the original name. It just says document viewer. And I like this. Papers is forked from Evans, but it has been refactored and rebuilt using Rust, GTK4 libadwaita, and modern rendering libraries. So that's pretty good. It offers the majority of Evans's features, plus a few it didn't. So like Totem, Evans remains available for those who prefer the old UI and feature set. So that's pretty good. And now we also get a few new file manager features, okay? Over here, for example, it's just called Files. Okay, let me just do one thing. I'm gonna open this in a new workspace because it's getting crowded over here. And then you go to here. So you click on this filter button, and then you can filter with file types for audio, documents, folders, images, PDF, spreadsheets, whatever. Okay, and then you can also add file type in the filter. That's excellent. You can also go ahead and choose your date used, so today, yesterday, past week, and whatever. And then you can also input a custom date range. For text matching, you can go ahead with content and file name, or only file name, to choose or match your preferences. So it does also have network addresses in the panel that can be copied. Files and MTP-backed directories load incrementally. Batch rename dialog is now adaptive. App chooser dialog uses a modern dialog widget. And you Control+dot shortcut opens the current folder in the terminal. So that's actually very handy. I need it always to open VS Code or IntelliJ using the terminal, and Control+period or Control+dot, whatever you say, is just a very handy little thing. Now, local mounts in sidebar are also sorted by device name, and then the slash is also added to the path entered using the tilde mark. And then you also get more reliable trash emptying. I didn't know that trash emptying was not reliable, but I guess I shouldn't make fun of something which I didn't know. Anyway, now there are obviously a lot of other bug fixes, accessibility improvements, code refactoring, and minor usability tweaks to reduce friction in this venerable file manager. Now, you do also get other updates. So for example, in calendar apps, there are a huge set of changes. Now, the sidebar can now be hidden to give more space to the main window, and the app adapts its UI based on different window sizes, ensuring that all the core features are accessible, like changing the month, etc., etc. Even styling in the calendar now uses greater contrast to improve legibility. Events can be exported as .ics files for sharing, and accessibility and keyboard navigation have been boosted throughout the app. So let's just go ahead and open calendar. So we can go ahead here and we can search cal, and the first thing is going to be calendar. So this is calendar. I guess we could go ahead and add an event. I could say my birthday, even though it isn't, and this is personal, so let's just keep it personal. You can edit the details. So my birthday, location, I guess we can put Kolkata, and time slot the entire day. It does not repeat. I mean, it should technically, right? It should repeat yearly and then repeat forever. Well, you guys get it. Okay, so I'm gonna save it. So this is my birthday, as you can see, and you can share it as a .ics file. So that's pretty handy, like we all talked about. And then this is the collapsible sidebar, and it does show you birthdays and anniversaries of contacts and personal items or events on this computer. That's pretty handy. Okay. And then if you go here, you can synchronize calendars, date and time settings, online accounts. So you can add online accounts as well. I believe this would open, the GNOME settings app, and then you could add your Google, Nextcloud, Microsoft 365, whatever you wanted to, right over here, and then those information would show up over here. You also get a weekly view, a monthly view. That's pretty good. Let's move back to our article, and then we can go ahead. Now, Software also picks up a serious set of performance improvements. Devs have nixed a major bottleneck in how the app parses data from Flatpak repositories like FlatHub. This reduces memory usage and makes searching and browsing way faster. So we're gonna open up Software. So let's just get rid of files. And where is Software? I mean, I absolutely adore and love this piece of software. By the way, whenever you are opening this for the first time, you should obviously enable third-party software repositories. These are external resources, selected external resources, and you can go ahead and actually read it, like whatever is actually external. And you do actually need it for a lot of things. Let's not go to the details, and we can just move on and enable this, and then it will ask you to authenticate. Since I am a live user, it does not ask for my password, but if you had this installed on your system, it would obviously ask you for authentication. Okay, these things take a little bit of time to load. I guess we could return to this a little bit later when it has loaded up, because this is no fun, right? Let's just move on with the article, and we can come back to software a little bit later in the video when it actually gets loaded up. Now, you do also get improvements to Snapshot. This is the camera app. So if you type camera or if you type Snapshot, as you can see, both of those names does give you the camera app. So you can choose to allow this, but since I'm in a virtual machine, you're not going to see my beautiful face. So that's something that's not going to happen today. Although what I like is for some of these apps, what's new is directly mentioned over here. Okay, so you don't even have to go to any website or just, I don't know, dig through the internet to find out what's new, or look into any article for that matter. It's baked into here. Okay, let's just go back to our app, and it doesn't seem to have loaded. Okay, let's just go to preferences, and as you can see in preferences, okay, it finally opened up. Okay, cool. So automatic or manual, you can update automatic, you can have notifications updated automatically, and then you can also have content filters enabled. Okay, and then you do have these beautiful cards that we can check out in the meantime. So dialect, translate between languages, iconic, binary. So this is a really beautiful app. The icons are not going to load in. I mean, they're going to take a lot of time. As you saw, my internet's kind of spotty over here, like I said, but all in all, this is beautiful. Like, you go to any of the apps and they do have absolutely fantastic screenshots, and then you do get a little bit of the description, and then download size, if it's safe or not, if it's adaptive, like if it will work on your phone, or like if it's gonna be restricted only to your desktop, and then the age rating. You also get a version history and websites to donate or contribute or report an issue and whatever. And below that is the most important thing, the reviews. So you can go ahead, add a review, or you can just read the reviews. Okay, this is really good. This is, like I said, one of my favorite, absolute favorite software manager, software center, whatever you want to call it. And then once you go ahead and want to install an application, it does tell you that this is either a Flatpak or an RPM or a Flatpak from FlatHub. So the difference between the first one and the third one is this is a Flatpak from Fedora repositories, and the third one is a Flatpak from FlatHub. I mean, it shouldn't matter to you very much, but one thing to note for the, I guess, the more advanced users among you is that FlatHub is also enabled in Fedora right now, instead of only having the repository from the official Fedora sources. So this enables you to have way more apps. For example, let's just say dialect was not available in the Fedora Linux repository, but then again, you would have also been able to get it from the FlatHub repository. So that's not stopping. And generally, you are advised to only install good apps and known apps from known developers. So that's something which you should definitely keep in mind. So software repositories. So we do have Fedora Flatpaks enabled. So this is the safest, I guess. And then you also can enable testing, but you really shouldn't unless you're testing. And then for packages, it does have Open H.264 from Cisco, and then all the other test updates, and then firmware from the Linux vendor firmware service. And you also did enable the third-party repositories at the beginning, so this is also enabled. And then other things, for example, Google Chrome, and then the non-free NVIDIA drivers, and the non-free drivers for Steam, which you absolutely need if you want to play any kind of game on Linux, and especially if you have an NVIDIA card. Okay, so I think with that, that wraps up the software section. Now we can just go ahead to our article, and then again, this is Maps, another one. This is a really beautiful app. I absolutely adore Maps. And now Map adds a point of interest search option for vegan and vegetarian restaurants, localized railway station icons with icons added for select regions, and clickable street names and house numbers that open a popover with options. That's pretty good. Now weather adds F5 and Ctrl+R keyboard shortcuts to refresh, improves its grid layout, and has been ported TypeScript. So this is weather. Okay, let's give it a second or two. Select city or country. We're gonna go ahead with Kolkata, India. And as you can see, this is the weather, hourly, daily. I mean, I always love weather apps. I'm not sure why, but I'm just a sucker for weather apps. You also get the Tixis, I guess. This is how you say it, Tixis terminal. It adds a new menu to search across containers and profiles, and handles mail to links, and includes a new command line option to start the app in full screen. That's pretty good. And then you also get the Connections remote desktop app, which can forward multi-touch input from a client to a remote GNOME session over RDP. So that is actually really interesting and really needed. It also adds support for relative mouse input, which is useful for playing games over remote connection, and extended virtual monitors. So multi-touch, of course, it's really useful. For example, if you have a Fedora system and you are connected to that Fedora system using a client, which is a laptop, and you want to use your 3 fingers to enable the gestures, to work with the gestures. So that is now enabled because you need 3 fingers for the gestures to work. So this is something which you can do. Now you do also get control center changes. So for example, there are a few new toggle switches and options in the GNOME Control Center, including a new donation button. So for example, let's just go ahead and open settings. Let's go to system. And let's go to about, and as you can see, we have a donate button. You can donate to GNOME if you really wanted to, and then you do get the operating system name, the memory, and then system details. I mean, these are all very familiar to a lot of you guys. Now, a few things which might interest you is actually the well-being section. So it shows you the screen time. So I've been on the system for about 30 minutes right now, and you can enable screen time limits. So for example, if I set it to, I don't know, let's say 0. So everything turns black and white, and supposedly it's to make you less interested in the screen. You see, all things black and white. You're really not going to be that interested in your screen if everything is black and white. But again, we're going to come back to the land of color, and yeah, it's beautiful. And you do also get eyesight reminders, movement reminders, and of course, sounds. Now, while we're in settings, I mean, there's really not that much to talk about, except for the fact that you have appearance section. Okay, this is my absolute favorite, and we do get the newer wallpapers. I mean, this Fedora wallpaper is just absolutely fantastic. And you do also get other wallpapers, but I am not sure if these are new, because I think I've already seen most of these wallpapers in when I was doing a review of the GNOME desktop environment a couple of weeks ago. I guess this one's cool. Yeah, this is cool, but I still prefer the Fedora, the default Fedora one. Yeah, this one. This one's just fantastic. Man, this one looks so good. This one's fantastic. So apart from the appearance tab, you do get, I mean, we're not going to go through all of these, but you did see the performance, high performance module, and then you do get power saving. So you can delay this turning off of the screen. You can set your time, and you can also turn on the automatic screen blank for multitasking and hot corners, active screen edges. We already talked about displays. And you can enable Nightlight. It's not available here because I am from inside a virtual machine, but if you have it installed on a bare metal, which is what you are going to be installing it onto, then this is going to be very helpful. We already talked about well-being, mouse and touchpad, all nifty and all very handy. And we already know about all of these, okay? And you do also get a privacy and security, so you can remove saved data files. You can limit your location access. You can also turn on automatic screen lock. Let's get back to our article. And so you do get that the display panel has been reworked to properly fit on smaller resolution screens, which is very useful if you switch to a smaller resolution and find that the display panel itself no longer fits on the screen, making it hard to switch back to a higher resolution. So that's pretty good. And now the accessibility panel also adds the toggle to open the Orca screen reader tool. Along with this, you do get a Mega Mutter update. So the window manager Mutter, which is for GNOME, is the conduit for how software and hardware interact, for people who didn't know. Mutter 49 picks up a plethora of improvements, including support for 10, 12, and 16-bit software decoding formats, which GNOME's wallpapers now make use of, so that's fantastic. Mutter improves handling of fractional scaling values by switching to new calculations using exact quotients. This should deliver sharper rendering of text and app interfaces across different screen resolutions and display types. I cannot emphasize how important this is. This is really important, okay? You do get other sessions. So for example, speed limit visual alerts to comply with EAA, touchpad acceleration profile applied at startup. This is pretty good. API to uninhibit or inhibit the cursor visibility, ICC profiles, cursor can move at maximum refresh rate under VRR. A lot of things here and there that have been included as well. Now, I guess X11 session support has been disabled, but I hear that they have re-enabled it recently. So, I mean, by default, of course, it runs on Wayland, and in the beta, it was actually disabled, like X11 was disabled, but I hear that they have re-enabled it. It's not enabled by default, of course, but you can switch to it if you want to from the GDM login screen, I guess. So yeah, overall, I absolutely love Fedora, and the combination of Fedora with GNOME 49 makes it an absolutely fantastic desktop environment for people to work in. Okay, so I think with that, more or less, we come to the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed talking about Fedora. I really loved the new installer. I loved the changes to Nautilus. And overall, Fedora GNOME has been a fantastic operating system for me. And I hope it serves you guys for the next few months. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you on the flip side. Peace.